Welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you are new to my channel, my name is Juliana. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the new Pimbi Formula 2 palette. So if you are new to my channel or you are new to Pimbi is Playing in Makeup by Yolondo. And she's just recently launched 6 palettes called Formula 2. So these palettes are a sequel to the Formula palette. I mean, the first one she had they were just called Formula palette. There was not like Formula 1 or something. But these are Formula 2. So the first set of the Formula palette, they are like this. They are like this shape. I have 6 of them. I have a green one. I don't know where it is as usual, but they are equally 6 shades as well, but the pans are different. So these are the pans in the first Formula series and these are the pans in the Formula 2 series. So as you can see, the pans are definitely bigger in Formula 2 than Formula 1. One thing that is noticeably different in the Formula 2 palette is they've all got one shimmer each, whereas in the Formula 1 palette you've got about 3 shimmers. I say 3 because one of them is a glitter shade. So for example, in this one, these 2 are shimmer, then you've got one glitter shade. I think it's just the green one that doesn't have glitter, if I recollect. I don't know if any other one doesn't have glitter, but I only have 3 of them, and I know my green one doesn't have glitter. But my burgundy and my purple one, yeah, they have a glitter in them. I got my Formula 2 palette actually from a mystery box, and this was delivered to me yesterday, the same day they launched. So what happens is she has mystery box listed on her site, and most of the time, sometimes this mystery box have new products that have not been launched yet. So I got this 3 in mine, along with some I think 2 glosses and 1 eyeshadow primer. I'll put the value of the mystery box up on the screen as well. So in the Formula 2 series, there are actually 6 palettes. I got 3 of them. I mean, 2 are kind of like, but one of them I wouldn't have wanted this one, and it's the grey one. So I got graduated greys, and we'll look at the inside in a bit. And I got Petri dish purples, and then lastly radiology reds. I'm so happy I got this one. I think if I didn't get this one, I don't know, I would have had to order it or something later on, but I'm quite happy with 2 of what I got. The only one I couldn't care less about is the grey. So in today's video, we are going to be swatching these 3 palettes, and we're also going to be comparing to some other palettes from Pimbi, as well as from Juvia's Place, who also has like 6 pan palettes as well, which are similar to these Formula 2 palettes. Let's first of all take a look at the graduated greys, which is the one I couldn't care less about. And this is what it looks like. Let me just bring this closer. Can you see? Look at that shimmer. That is absolutely beautiful. So this is what it looks like. I don't think this is really black, but we'll find out when we swatch it. I think it's like nearly black, because it doesn't look really black to me. But anyway, this is what the graduated greys look like up close. And this is the Petri dish purple. Now, I really don't like purple, but I'm not mad at this. I like the variety of all the different shades. So you've got your lilac, mid-tone purple, royal like purple. I just like this one. I really like this one. And then my favorite out of all the 6 palettes, the reds. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful and unique. I mean, to mix that, I love the shade of grey, like a grungy, I want to say grungy forest green, mixed with red, mixed with purple, and that shimmer. Oh my days, just wait until I swatch that. But this is the reds, and I really love this. Okay, let's get swatching. Okay, I'm starting my swatch with the radiology reds, and these are the first 3 shades on the, and that's the top row. And that's the first shade, the orange and the red. Okay, so I went over them one more time because these are really pigmented shadows. So they are, when you're swatching them, they can be quite powdery, and they don't swatch as well as, you know, have some shadows, but nothing to do with the pigmentation. But this is the first 3 shades in the radiology red palette. The last 3 shades. So this is an orange. So the orange is lighter than the first one I swatched, and this is the only shimmer in the palette. Oh, that is gorgeous. And then the final shade, which is dark green. Okay, again, I went over those shades one more time, apart from the shimmers, but these are the swatches of the radiology red palettes. So I think this is possibly the most unique out of all the palettes, because I just like the combination in this palette. You can do pretty much a number of looks. I love this one. So That's radiology red. Okay, I'm going to be swatching the graduated grays next because I think the purple one might stain. But this is the one we're swatching next. So these are the first three shades. The first one is a white. A white. Wow. Oh my days. Wow. I'm going to go over that one again. Okay, that's it. Went over one more time. These are light shades. I am lost for words. Just look at the pigmentation in these shades. And here are the last three shades. So the next one is a darker gray. And then we have the shimmer, which is like a silver. Just look at that. And then lastly, the one that I was debating whether it was a real black or not. So it does look like a real black, and I'm going to go over that one more time. Yeah, so it is black. It's not the blackest shade I've ever seen, but it is black. And these are all the swatches of the graduated grays palette. So this is the palette along the swatches. So I kind of think the intensity of that black actually goes very well with the shades in this palette, especially if you're like a beginner. You really don't want, like, you know, something that is too black and then everything will be messed up, because this will take some sort of speciality to use. I would imagine some sort of I don't know, expertise. Even for me, I'm scared to use it, but I'm gonna try. But those are all the shades in the graduated grays palette. It's absolutely gorgeous. Those shimmers and those light mattes, I don't know how she does it. I mean, look at white. That's white. Beautiful. Okay, let's go into the purple. Petri dish purples is called, and this is what it looks like. I'm excited for this one actually. Already look at the first three shades. Oh, this is so beautiful. Beautiful color story. And this looks like an auburn purple. And then we have the shimmer. Just gonna go over the two mattes again. I didn't do anything else with the shimmer because I think it's just okay as it is. But these are the first three shades, and these are the final three shades. Oh my days. Oh, wow. Okay, purple is usually not my favorite color, but I think this might be the favorite out of the three. So I went over the matte one more time. Well, these are the shades in the purple palette. Absolutely gorgeous. This one is really, really gorgeous. Yeah, and that's the Petri dish purples. Okay, now that we've seen the swatches of the three palettes, we're just going to go through some of the palettes and just see if there are any dupes within a palette. So this is the purple in the Formula 1 series, and if you just put this together, I mean, looking at this straight from the screen, I don't think there is any dupe. The one that would have been a dupe is the purple here, which in this palette is actually a shimmer. So I think in that way it complements each other. As far as the other shades are concerned, they're just different in tones. For a start, this is glitter and this is a duochrome. It's actually got a blue shift to it. I don't know what you can see. I don't know if you can see. It's a blue purple, so it is a duochrome, and the one in the Formula 2 palette is just a shimmer. So this is the one in the Formula 2 palette, and this is the one in the first Formula palette. So this is definitely a duochrome. It's a blue and purple shift, and the one in the Formula 2 is just a shimmer, a mid-tone range shimmer. So that's definitely different. Yeah, I hope you can see the tones from here. Yeah, definitely blue purple. Alright, the one palette that I think there might be dupes of this palette is the Love Epidemic palette, and I mean, it's inevitable that there will be kind of very similar shades because it's mainly, apart from the reds in this palette, it's mainly like a purple kind of palette. And if you look at the purples, most of them are pretty much similar, even up to the shimmer in the Love Epidemic palette. But we'll compare this. Alright, I've got all the shades of the Petri dish palette on my arm, and we're going to compare to the Love Epidemic, starting from the purple shimmer here. So this is Desire in the Love Epidemic palette, and we're going to compare it to the shimmer in this palette. I'm just going to swatch it right next to the shimmer here. So as you can see, it's lighter than the shimmer in the Petri dish palette, the Formula 2 palette. Yeah, so that's definitely not a dupe, and they are not similar. Okay, just to speed this up, this purple I'm going to compare to the darkest purple, and then this purple right here I'm going to be comparing to that one, and then for this purple I'm going to be comparing to the first shade and I have on my hand. So I'm just going to swatch that on my hand first. Alright, these are the shades I'm going to be comparing. So for the first one, I'm just going to swatch right here. So that's more cool toned than the one in the Formula 2 palette. And then for the next one, it will be this one, which again is more pink than this one. This one has more purple in the Formula 2 palette, has more purple in it. The one in the Love Epidemic is more of a pink one. And then this is one of the other purples to compare to that one, so that's definitely different. And then lastly, the darkest purple, which I will be comparing to the darkest one in the Formula 2 palette. So that's still not as dark as the Formula 2 palette. So as close as the tones are, they are definitely different. This is how brands get us. They know how to kind of tweak, you know, the tones in the palette and make it look like you definitely need the new palette. But I mean, I know that they are not close, but you can easily just settle for this if you like, especially if you're not like a fan of purple. So I mean, from the comparison I've done, if you're not really into palette that much and you don't collect palettes, then I think this is sufficient. Really, you don't really need this because you can easily find other tones in one of our other palettes, which I'll be showing you. I'm not going to go over all the Infinity palettes, but if you've got the Infinity palette, one or two of the shades are in each and every one of them, so you just have them scattered all over the place. So this is Manda. That purple is definitely close to a shade in the Formula 2 palette. This is the Yo-Yo palette, and as you can see, at least two shades are close to this one. The basic palette, again a purple, which is quite close to one of the shades here. And then lastly, Royalty, which I think, looking at it, this is possibly the closest to this palette. If you've got Royalty, I'm not really sure you need this palette. I think you might just have everything you need from this palette, apart from I think maybe one shade that is here, that is not here. That's about it. So if you don't collect palette, like I said, you might already have this palette and you don't need it. Alright, the one I've been really looking forward to comparing to the Graduated Grace is the Unexpected palette, the Infinity Unexpected palette, because it's all grey as well. I mean, looking at this palette, the first three shades here are definitely in here. So apart from the bottom, the only thing that I'm missing at the bottom row, these bottom three shades are the only ones that are not here. And on this palette you do have the black in the form of a shimmer. It's just that it's a shimmer. If you don't mind that the black is a shimmer, then you really have 4 shades already in the Unexpected palette. So if you have Unexpected palette and you're not really bothered about the matte black, then you're okay. You can just stick with the Infinity palette. I mean, look at this. Yeah, I don't think you need this Graduated Grace if you already have the Infinity palette. I mean, when I saw all of the 6, that's what I was thinking. So I knew if I had a choice, I would never pick the Graduated Grace because I already have the Unexpected Infinity palette. And to me, all the grays I love, all the shades I love in the grays are already here. I mean, I can get black anywhere and I can get this dark gray anywhere. So I really don't think you need it to. Okay, looking at the Radiology Reds and the Love Epidemic palette, there are 2 shades in here that are definitely not in the Love Epidemic palette. So it's the Orange Shimmer and the Green shade. As for the other 4, you can definitely duplicate them in this Love Epidemic palette. As far as the Infinity palettes are concerned, Capture, if you've got Capture, then you've got the shimmer and that last purple. Yeah, can you see those orange? Yeah, they're definitely similar, and I'm going to swatch the 2 and compare to each other. Okay, so this is one from the Radiology Red and this is one from Capture Infinity palette. So we swatch the Radiology Red one first. I'm going to find somewhere. I'll go here. So this is the orange from Radiology Red and this is the one from the Capture palette, the Infinity palette. So as you can see, I don't see any difference. Maybe the one in the Radiology Red is more kind of terracotta, I want to say, rusty, more rusty, very just about 1%. But as far, I mean, looking at this, they are pretty much the same really. So if you already have a lot of PIMB palettes, you really might not need this formula too, because sometimes what we need to realize is that when a brand comes out with a new release, it's not really meant for existing customers. It might be meant for new customers, so it almost seems like it's been duplicated in our collection. So if you are wondering and you don't want to duplicate your collection, I would say if you have the palette I've shown you, then you don't need the new ones that I've shown you today. I mean, the one thing I can say is that the new palettes are quite different from my older palettes. Our older palettes are more, concentrated in colors, and I've looked through all my collection. This is the Relentless palette, and as you can see, they're just, they are varied colors, and there isn't anything I can really identify from here that is similar to the new Formula 2 palette. Jamrock pastel palette, maybe that purple, and that's it. The Rebirth palette, in fact I don't think anything in this one is similar to any of the 3 Formula 2 palettes I have. Serenity palette, all the tones in here are different, the colors are different as well. Jamrock No Limitation, definitely a unique palette, and yeah, I can't say there are any duplicated, even though there's like a pink, but the pink is definitely different to the ones in the Petri Dish purple palette. So yeah, there's no duplication here. And finally, the Jamrock Universal palette, which has like 3 purples here and a deeper purple here. This deeper purple is actually a shimmer, it's not a matte. Yeah, so all the other palettes are quite unique and different, and nothing similar to any of these Formula 2 palettes. Well, like I keep saying, the 3 I do have. I don't know how long this video is, but I also want to kind of compare all of the Formula 2 palettes with Juvia's Place 6 pans palettes, at least the ones I have. So let's start with the Berries palette. This looks quite similar to the Peach palette, just being released by Yolondo, but I don't have that, so I have not seen what it looks like up close, but it kind of looks like a peach palette slash pink palette, so I do think that this is quite similar. Okay, Sweet Pinks from Juvia's Place. Again, 1 or 2 shades might be similar to the peach palette. And then the chocolate palette from Juvia's, which is similar to the nude palette in the Formula 2. I mean, I think if you have the Juvia's Place and chocolate palette, you really don't need any other brown tone palette, unless you really want to buy it like me. I might have something similar, but because I still want, the Formula 2 palette, I will still buy it. So if you are into palettes and you like to collect palettes, then yeah, maybe buy it. But if you're just wondering, whether you need 2, then I would say if you have this, you don't need the nudes from the new Formula 2 collection. And then Juvia's Nubian palette, so comparing that to the Petri Dish palette, yeah, it's quite similar. I mean, as you can see, it's definitely quite similar. So you would have to make a decision whether you are okay with this or you need this one as well. But looking at this, if I don't collect palettes and PIMB is not one of my favorite brands, I'll probably stick to this one. But yeah, I like this one as well. So everybody's different. You've got to make a choice. Are you okay with this or do you need this as well? But yeah, they are quite similar. Okay, I think that's as far as I'm going with this video. I could continue giving you comparison and from different brands even, but I just thought for anybody wondering whether they need this new release, then just to show you a few comparison and to show you the swatches of the new Formula 2 palettes. Alright guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you've enjoyed my swatches, my comparison both to PIMB palettes and to Juvia's Place palettes as well, and I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me. If you have enjoyed this video, please like it, share it and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you on this channel, and until next time, I'll see you.